If you want to hear my final thoughts on this Marc Jacobs Frost palette, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène with another video, and I wanted to talk about this palette one last time as far as my impressions having done 3 looks with this Marc Jacobs palette. It is the Leopard palette, Leopard Frost, Eye-Conic Frost. It goes by a number of names. I like the Leopard Frost name personally, so that's what I'm going to refer to it as. It is a palette that came out last holiday season, so holiday 2018. It is a small palette with 7 shadows. Let's just open it. You just press here and you open it. And it is rather luxe. It comes with a divider between the mirror and the shadows, which I'll probably discard after this video. And inside the palette you have a mirror. I don't want to blind you. Hello. And 7 shadows. Now I do have a swatches video for this palette. I'll put it right here. And I think it was the swatches in my first look all combined. And once that one is cycled through, I'll also make sure to show you the second and third looks. So I'll just put all those videos linked right here in the video for your convenience. There are 2 mattes and 5 metallics or shimmers here. And what I noted in the 3 looks that I did, plus having used 1 or 2 shadows in some other looks that I didn't film, what I can tell you is that I think the mattes blend out very well. They are slightly powdered, but they blend out very well as a base for other looks because you're quite limited in these 2 colors. So you can do a look with those 2 on their own, but I think that you'd want maybe something else which the other 5 shadows can offer. It is very easy to mix and match all of these colors. There are no colors in here that will not work together, in my opinion. This one pulls a little bit to a pinky white. This one is more of a fuchsia than it looks, more burgundy in the pan, but it isn't. This one's more of a chocolate, which very much like it is in the pan. This one also very much like in the pan, and so is this one. And these as well, but they sheer out quite quickly. And these shadows tend to be more opaque, although this one is a very light shadow. I won't bother with naming the names. They're all cutesy names. They don't really go with the colors. But they do make me think of the RuPaul's Drag Race just because of the names. So I'll just call out the names real quick and they'll be done with it. Hey girl, you slay, on the runway, serving up, eleganza, extravaganza, and for your life. If you're a fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, you will know exactly what I mean when I say that those names remind me of that show. Now, for my critique of the palette, I think all of these shadows are solid shadows. I don't have a problem with any of them. You can get a few punchy looks. I thought that this one on the inner lid looked really good. I thought these 2 did a very, very nice smoky eye. No problem there. By the way, this look is a second look with Quad of the Month number 3. If you want to see that video, I will put it right there. Here's where I have an issue. The palette looks really sleek, really nice, and frankly, I bought this palette for the packaging. I have a thing with leopard. If you want to see more about that, there's the video for you. But it is not very practical. It's not a compact that is of a standard size. It is very sleek, but that also makes it very slippery in the hand when the palette is open and you're trying to use it. If you are someone who uses the mirror in a palette, you may get very aggravated with this one. When you open it this way, it's not very high up and you have to hold the palette quite high up to be able to see yourself in the mirror. Otherwise, you're looking very much down. I ended up using the palette this way. It was the only way that I felt comfortable with using the mirror because I could actually get some length to the face, but you can only see one eye at that point. You can't compare your eyes. It's kind of frustrating, and I found myself using the mirror at the bottom of my ring light here often, as opposed to this when I was going back and forth, and that's never a good sign for me if I want to recommend a palette that people can use more on the go with no mirror available. The next thing about it is that it may not show so much on camera here, but these pans are very small. So let me just give you a comparison point. This is a regular Morphe or Anastasia shadow size, or Annabelle shadow size, very common size. And here is the pan for the Marc Jacobs next to it. And these pans are usually 1.6 to 1.7 grams each. These pans are 0.85 grams each. So if you're saying, oh, you know, it's only 7 shadows, but I can use this palette for a long time and it's going to be fine. If you go through your favorite regular size round pans, you will go through this quite quickly. And so for $59 Canadian, to get 7 shadows is not a whole lot. And I've managed, with doing just a handful of looks, to put some decent wear on a number of shadows, especially if you are prone to using these two mattes as anchors. This palette won't last you very long because you'll have to bring other mattes in to complement the metallics and shimmers. That is my sentiment on it. I think it works fine. I think I created some nice looks, but I don't think that it warrants the price tag unless you are, just like me, a really big fan of this packaging. I am honestly disappointed with the value of the palette itself when I consider what I'm supposed to be using it for. So the cost of the shadows is pretty atrocious. They are good, but I don't think I would say they knock my socks off. They're okay. They're good. They're good. Did they create good looks? Yep, they created good looks. If you love luxe and you have money to burn and you don't care the size of the shadows, you just want Marc Jacobs stuff, no judgment. You do what you feel is value to you. I'm only giving you my perspective. And my perspective is that I am going to keep this palette. I'm going to enjoy this palette. And I am going to, the money is spent. I'm going to enjoy it. But I am going to be more aware, I think, going forward about the amount of product that I get if it is a set of shadows that I really am hoping is going to last me a long time, if that makes sense. Like, for example, the Urban Decay Elements palette has definitely a number of shadows this size and even smaller, but there were 19 of them and I paid half what I paid for this. Do you know what I mean? That's the issue. Of course, the Elements palette I got on clearance, but it's still what I paid for it. This is just, yeah, this is really, really expensive for 7 shadows. Even if I had paid full price for the Elements, again, this is only 7 shadows. I don't know if you can hear it, but my dog's dreaming. How about ending on a light note? My dog is dreaming. That is it for my thoughts on the Marc Jacobs Leopard Frost, as I call it. And let me know what you think. If you have this palette, let me know what your impressions are of this product and value for dollar. Do you love it? Are you meh? Do you hate it? Just let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. And that's it. Those are my thoughts on the Marc Jacobs Leopard Frost palette. I hope you found this review useful. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.